Well, what a wonderful surprise. Now, my friends, welcome and thank you for joining us this evening. A gathering of like-minded individuals coming together for different reasons, with different aims and purposes, with different things to accomplish. But here you are, exposing the fragility of life's emotions to others, facing them yourself in some cases. Understanding that as time moves on, some things remain the same, such as the way that one's words may affect the mind, the body, and the spirit. The way that an unkindness decades ago can leave a lasting impression upon you. But let us not look at the negative aspect of it solely. Let us think about how we can always change. That life sometimes seems unfair, like that there is a God, like that there is some sort of benevolent being who is decreeing where happiness and sadness shall reside. But I am here to say that that is not the case. No one is an arbiter of your happiness but you. That there is no being casting doubt upon your right to happiness, or saying that you must undergo some sort of transformation, become a person of religion, follow a creed or a dogma to be worthy. You were born worthy. You are worthy, and you shall return to that state of worthiness. Because who is there to decide what you are worthy of? Who decides where happiness is? If not you. Life is a challenge. Of that there can be no doubt. Life sometimes seems unjust. And there are many reasons in which you could have the right to say, I do not feel that it is fair. Because we approach life with a sense of that we want it to be how we envision it. That we have an idea of what a normal life is. But I would say that a normal life is one that is filled with troubles, with happiness, with laughter, with difficulties, with decisions to be made. That is what a normal life is. If by some chance you can navigate life as if a ship upon a mill pond, never with a wave to rail against, never with a difficulty, and I would say in some ways you are blessed, but in some ways it was a waste. Life poses challenges to all of you. And you know this. But it presents the opportunity for growth. You have a saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And isn't there a great wisdom in that? Isn't there great wisdom in knowing that to suffer sometimes, to love, to laugh, to contemplate your meaning, to think about your reason for being where you are? Isn't there a great wisdom in that very act, my friends? Moving through life will always offer opportunities. And you may say, how do I know what way to turn? How do I know what my purpose is in life? And as we often say, you do what makes your heart sing. Listen to what makes your heart sing. We are not here to decide what you should do. We are here to walk alongside you. You exist as a brother and sister under the eyes and the gaze of the Great Spirit. You are here to make decisions. Privileged to make decisions. For to exist as a human is to have the greatest experience. And you may say, how can you say this? Because to be human is to suffer. But it is also to love. It is to have moments of contemplation. Moments where you say, I do not know what I want to do. But you have the right to do it. You can make decisions. You can interact with people. You can choose a course of suffering if you so wish. Or you can choose happiness. What brings you happiness? What makes you wake up in the morning and say, today is a new day, a new way of expressing who I am, finding happiness within my life or within the eyes of another. That is the purpose of your life. Express happiness in the cooking of food, in the sharing of wisdom, in the being a listening ear to someone. Express happiness in knowing that you can make a difference to someone. And it starts with you. What we seek from you, my friends, is not servitude. It is a decision. Make a decision because you are expressing your power and freedom to choose. They who are sovereign beings, not slaves to someone else's call. Do not be the sheep, be the shepherd. Be that person that says, I know what I want, and what I want is happiness. Choose that way that brings sunshine to your smile. Choose that way that gets you to see the world with different eyes. Not eyes of regret. An eternity of just the spiritual form gives you more than enough occasion for regret. Use the time that you are walking upon the earth to be that person that looks at the eyes of someone else and says, here is an opportunity for compassion, for humanity, for sharing, for loving, for listening, for doing all those things, composing, whatever brings you joy. And know that as you express joy, you are uplifting your own soul. There it is, rising, finding meaning, joy bursting from every cell in your body, because you know you are being true to yourself. You are becoming what you always wanted to be. Finding a voice. Discovering who is the real you. It is not who I tell you to be, it is who you know yourself to be. Do I make sense, my friends?
Yes, you do.
Now, we do not seek to chastise you, only to recognize the power that exists within your own voice. You want a guide to guide you. Well, we want someone to make decisions. Just as the boy decided to work with us, here we are standing with him, influencing but not controlling. There is a difference. He's like a mule. You won't be told what to do. But with a little encouragement, we can get cooperation. And that's all we want from you, my friends, cooperation. When tears need to flow, cry them. When a smile needs to be seen, show it. When an arm needs to be placed around a shoulder, give that arm. Know that each of you are on a journey. Just like everyone else who has ever been born, on a journey. Life is said to be suffering. But is it? Or is it just experience? So what will you make with your experiences of life? On your last day, when you're reflecting upon who you are and who you were, what will you think? What conclusion will you come to? Humanity has always faced choices. You have always faced choices. So what choices will you make to decide your own happiness? What will you do to change your future? And to not think that you sit like a passenger on a train being pulled from one experience to another. Jump off the train and walk. Find your direction and head there step by step. Find your way. That is your way. I feel in this place of religion like I've been in the pulpit, my dear. Shall we ask questions?
Yes. Does anybody have a question?
Cat has got their tongues.
Can I ask,
Yeah.
will humanity ever learn?
My friend, if you had £1, what would you bet? Well, there we go. My friend, there has always been conflict amongst peoples. There is always a tribal nature to humanity. There is always a fight for resources, perspective, control, and power. What has changed, my boy? Nothing at all. You see, what you need are people who cast a different view over life. The boy Gandhi did something remarkable. He had peaceful resistance. He didn't fight, but look how he changed a nation. You can change the world around you, one person at a time. Cast your light and be something positive in the world. You may not change the world, but you can change yourself. And you can show an example to those around you, something different from the norm. People are gullible, they are fallible, they are malleable. And do we not think that these people in positions of power do not understand this? If we promise ambrosia, you should say, well, I like the sound of that. We always go into the promised land. Where is this promised land? Where is this ambrosia? When people seek a life of material gain, they seem to move away from their spiritual nature. And we don't mean spiritual in the sense of a spirit guide. They move away from their true nature, which is love. Love does make the world go around. It can bring people together and it can drive them apart. If you see someone that is the polar opposite to you, your predilections, your opinions, and so on, we do not see them as an enemy. Just see them as another person finding their way that doesn't have the same point of view as you. See them with love. Even if they do not intend to love you back, love them anyway. What you are doing is releasing yourself from a contract of energy exchanged between you. Send them love. Send them more love than a person that you love. It sounds perverse. Send an enemy more love than someone I love. And why should I do such a thing? Because they need it. Because that contract of love will free you from them. But also at a level beyond their normal thinking mind, you will be making a difference. You will be changing them whether they know it or not. Because all things respond positively to love. But when a consciousness of a nation rails against someone else, there's this critical mass that forms. So be mindful of how you think, because you join in a negative atmosphere. You're feeding and contributing to something that is not loving. And when we do this, we become part of the problem. Divide and conquer. Enemies and empires have used this form of divide and conquer for time immemorial. And so it continues. Show all the differences. Show how some of you are immigrants and some of you are not. Well, I've got news for you. You're all immigrants. You all came from somewhere different. Go back far enough, and the place that you say is home is not. Where you are from, you are not. There is only one place that you are from. Whether you call it the heavenly realms, whether you call it the spirit world, that is your true home. You are not your name. You are an aspect of that great consciousness that exists eternally around you. Here you are, being an actor in a play, that play being called life. That's what you are. So let us move forward. Let us decide that we shall be the director in the play that we take part in. That we do not have to believe what we are told. To see separation where there could be companionship and empathy and compassion and love is to go against your true nature. No one, my friends, is born with the ability to hate. But you are all born with the ability to love. So what does it say about your true nature and your true state of being? You are from love. You return to love. The question is, will you choose to seek to manifest that love while you have the opportunity? I wonder. There is the conundrum. My friend, as long as there is the opportunity to see positivity, there is always hope, my friend. Never lose hope. Never doubt that things can be better. Once you lose hope, then you place your mind, your power into a neutral, or dare I say, negative state of being. That you do not want. Attract to you what you wish to see. If you wish to see hope in the world and positivity, become that hope and positivity yourself. And you know, my friend, as you very well know, having that kindness, that empathy, that compassion that you have, it attracts the right people to you. This is not alien to you, my boy. You know this. So you keep being you. Keep being a person that is decent and kind and responsible. Be that which you are. Does that help you, my friend?
Thank you. That's a very comprehensive answer.
Thank you. You seek to please. Next.
Does anybody else have a question?
The wearing of cogs.
Could I ask a question?
You may.
Please, could you elaborate on the degree to which we have free will?
Well, my friend, when you walk out of the door this evening, which direction will you take?
The direction that the boy makes me take.
He makes you take a direction. Would you express your will with every step that you take?
Yes.
In the chair you're in, to the exit to the building?
Absolutely.
Now, my friend, there are restrictions. You're only a human within the restrictions of the society that you live in. So, of course, you could say, well, if I had free will, I could do whatever the hell I want. And, of course, you know there would be consequences. Because, of course, you live in a society whereby we have to have a degree of control and concern for other people. Now, doing what you do, expressing yourself, going about what you call life, well, there presents challenges, doesn't there? There are many times that we say, well, if I had my way, I would do things very differently. And of course, you have that opportunity to do things that way, but there are always consequences. For every action, there is a reaction. And so what you must do is to live in a way that is harmonious with those around you. We take due consideration for those around you and express yourself in a way that doesn't bring you to harm or discomfort or harm to another. But there are times at which you can clearly express your will. Do you wish to connect with the spiritual realms? You could say yes or no. It's a black and white decision, and there really is no way that we could make you connect to us. So therefore you're expressing your free will. Could you walk down the street naked? Well, you could if you want, but you may get arrested. Could you commit murder? You could make that choice. And of course there will be consequences. So we could say free will does exist, but it exists as a human being within the confines of law and order. Do you have spiritual free will? Well, I would say that this is always infinitely yes.
Okay.
Because as you express your will, you are allowing it to be known what you are willing to accept. You are within the confines of being human, therefore restricted, so you do not have infinite free will. But just as you may reside within the spirit realms and say, well, I rather fancy going to earth and having this experience that they call humanity. Thereby you go knowing that you should be restricted, not only by your will, but by the fact that you are a physical being that is restricted. That from the very day of your conception, there is a never-ending path towards death. And the restrictions that being human places upon you. Having a body is wonderful. It's a way of having a vehicle to navigate the world. But imagine being an active mind within a body that didn't work. Do you still have free will then? Well, your mind has will, but your body does not have the wherewithal to do what it wants. And what if the body is willing, but the mind is unable? Because the mind can be afflicted by a condition that brings about a gradual deterioration. And within it is the essence of you really are. A spiritual being existing within the physical form. For those of you that have had loved ones, that have had conditions such that the mind or the body fails them, please know that they suffer no longer. That it was only the body that was sick. It was the body that failed them, because that is what it is to be human. The essence of who they are, their consciousness lives on, not encumbered by any disease or infirmity, but by existing again in a realm free of pain. So please, for those of you that may exist within a state of pain, at some point we will be relieved of it. And for those of you that wonder, your loved ones really are in a state of freedom that they never had within the physical form. To be human is to suffer to some degree. Does that help you, my dear?
Yes, thank you.
Well, eyes casting shadows. What do you wish to say, my friends?
Can I ask, please, are there such things as evil souls, and when they pass to spirit, whereabouts they go?
No. There are aspects of consciousness, my friend, that are of a very low vibration. But let us think of the soul as a many-faceted diamond. And that as an aspect of that diamond that we might call the personality, the character, a person, could they indeed be very low in their vibration? Of course they could. But the soul itself is so infinitely complicated and so multifaceted. Remember, what causes evil? There could be a mental malady, my friend, that causes an act that one would describe in the ways of experiencing your life as evil. Acts truly out of character with what is described as being normal for your society and your standards. But the soul is not evil. There is an aspect of their consciousness that came from that soul, like a tentacle from an octopus. If one of those tentacles was, quote, evil, does it make the whole octopus evil?
No.
If all of the tentacles had their own mind and their own reasoning and their own decisions to be made, does it make the whole thing evil? No. So an aspect, a personality, could be what you disagree with vehemently. That could be described as being evil. The low vibration. Now, where do they reside? Well, the thought is, my friend, that like attracts like. So where will you go when you die? A wonderful question. Will you go with people that are like you? But that eternal cause for progress exists for everyone, including those of the lowest. So let us say that you are of a good character and good demeanor. You will go with people like you, maybe your loved ones, maybe those that you love dearly, complete strangers, people like you, because like attracts like. My friend, does this seek? No, let us continue. My friend, moving through life will always present people that will seem to be less than desirable. That eternal progress for each soul is open to all. That we cannot ever cast down judgment for all eternity. Because what would be the point of experiencing human life if we can then say, well, you are beyond all, and that there is not that progress open to you? But my friend, you must recognize your actions, be responsible for your actions, and you exist in an environment that is applicable to the consciousness that you are at. So let us make no mistake, there is no hiding place. There is no way that you can talk your way out of it. You vibrate as you vibrate, and you will go to where you need to go to. But of course, as a parent does not chastise a child for doing something wicked if it does not know any better. We must always leave the door open to those people who have created an environment that is deeply against their background. Does it help you, my friend?
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Do we have more questions, my friend?
Anybody else like to ask a question?
Do you have anything to say about the rise in AI, or how humans are using AI, and what we should be doing?
Well, now there is a balance to be struck, my friend. AI, or this artificial intelligence, it is a wonderful way of exploiting a lazy mind. Because is it really a genuine intelligence? Or is it just a way of collating a mass of information and spoon-feeding a willing recipient? That is what is happening. It is people being spoon-fed, like little chicks just opening their beak for mother to feed them. But they are losing that right, what you spoke of, my friend. Using and losing free will.
Absolutely.
Because rather than make a rational, considered decision that you have thought about, maybe you have considered the consequences, you say, let me tap into my little keyboard and let me see what I should do. So in essence, you have said to a non-sentient being, please tell me how to live my life. Just as we would not tell you how to live your life, we give you words for consideration. It should be used only in a way that makes the functioning of the most basic aspects of your life easier. Can artificial intelligence bring about medical research by collating information to a positive benefit? Yes, it can. And it should be used in manners such as that. Let us bring together understanding for the benefit of all, not the control of all. Again, be the shepherd, not the sheep. Do not allow mankind to fall into servitude by saying, please tell me, sir, what to do. That is not living life. That is obeying orders. That is not expressing free will. It is dissolving your sovereign nature and handing over the keys to someone else. Saying, please take what is mine, for I want to give it to you. And wouldn't that be a sad indictment of what it is to be a human, to express yourself in every way? So used in the right way, there can of course be positive benefits. But as you know, nature is forgotten. And what these governments or these institutions do is exploit humanity's laziness. Most of humankind does not want to fight what they have. They want it to be given to them on a plate. The path that is easiest is often the path that they will go for. So I would caution strongly against the reliance upon this artificial intelligence, because actually it is not artificial, it has been created by someone else. And those someones will become less and less until the very few exploit and look after the many. And it should be that the many look after themselves. That is my thought upon that, my friend. Does it help you? Thank you. Well, puzzled faces, pensive faces, confused faces. Who has a question, my friends?
I ask one. I know we need to continue to move forward and learn to exist. But how can we protect nature, the environment, moving forward?
My friend, by loving it and treating it as if it was your own beating heart. You know, to walk amongst nature, to be within the trees, to see the glistening of the green upon the spring, to feel the crunch beneath your feet, to look at an animal doing what animals do, to understand that you are part of all that you see. That is what mankind needs to do. Have reverence. Understand the sacred nature of what you are part of. 2 words, part of. Not controlling of. Becoming human is a task in itself. Living life is a challenge. But my friends, when we lose sight that we are part of all that we see, we stop being who we truly are. If you want to drink clean water, then why would you poison the source? If you want to eat healthy food, then why would you poison the source? If you want to breathe clean air, then why would you poison the source? It is a conundrum that puzzles us, but does not surprise us. Because to make a difference is always someone else's problem in the vast majority of cases. But while there are people like you, like all of you, who care about the way that you live, the use of resources, that have reverence and respect for what you see, then there is always hope. And it is the people that speak of what they truly believe in, that do something positive by the way that you behave, you set an example. There are the many who would say, well, these people who look after the environment are cuckoo. But they are being true to themselves. They see the difference that can be made. From the world, my friend, take what you need, not what you want. There is the difference. In a planet of many billions of people, the land is crying out. The waters are crying out. The skies cry out. Living consciousness. Maybe not in the way that you understand it, but it is conscious. It knows it is being poisoned. So until people with respect do something respectful, then what will change? You are that example. You are that voice. You have a voice and you can use it. You know that the world that you see, my friend, is loving. It is beautiful. So our task as sentient beings is to leave the place in a way where we know that those that follow us will appreciate the beauty of it too. And to know that it is not someone else's problem. It is our problem. And our task, even in this consciousness beyond the physical form, our task is still to make it be known that we should live life with love, with respect, and reverence for what we see. We should be the voice for those who do not have a voice. We should make the right choice for those that cannot make a choice, whether they be four-legged, two-legged, or on the wings. That is what you should do. That is how life should be led. Be the voice for those who are silent. And do it with love. Does that help you, my friend?
Yes, thank you.
Good question. How are we fixed for time, my dear?
Yeah, we're nearly at the hour now.
Well, my friends, you have seen that the boy is indeed strange. But all jokes aside, what we seek to do is not control you, not tell you what to do, but to give you food for thought. You know, life is so precious. Some of us has days, hours, weeks, or months. Some of us had years or decades. Some of us may live for a century. But all of us can make a difference. However quiet you think your voice is, Go into a forest on your own and shout. Become aware of the might of your voice. Know that you can make a difference. You can stand up for something that means something. That you are not insignificant. That you are just that spiritual being undergoing a human experience. And my God, what a privilege that is. So my friends, shine your light so damn brightly that those that seek to live in darkness are dazzled by you. And do not be afraid of standing up for what you know to be true, that you know to be right, because that voice inside you seeks to have a way of expressing itself. You should not be silenced, and you turn your back on anyone that tries to silence you, for they are not deserving of your sovereignty and your decisions. My friends, you go in peace. You go and be proud of who you are. And you know that you mean something to us. And you should mean something to each other. To be here with you is a blessing. To be here with you is to know that there is still hope. While people like you sit here and listen to an old man, we know that there is still hope. And we want you to shine your light. Do what you can do, however little. And to know that you mean something to us. My friends, may every blessing be upon you, your families, and those that you care for. Walk gently on the earth. Look up to the sky and smile. And know that in every breath that you take, we are there with you. Silently, invisibly, being the footstep that walks beside you. In peace, my friends. In peace. Oh.
Thank you.